What's going on, everyone? So, look, I've said it repeatedly. I'm say it again. This Lakers roster is ridiculously stacked. I mean, they have so much talent. They are by far the deepest team in the league, right? Stack up the top 10 guys on this Lakers roster with any 10 guys in the league on their respective rosters, obviously, and nobody's outdoing the Lakers, like front to back, right? And with that comes a lot of challenges, right? You got a ton of size, ton of versatility. I think the Lakers are going to be much better shooting than people think they will be. I'm not saying they're going to be like top 5 shooting wise, but I think they could be middle of the pack. And I do think that they're going to be top 5 defense, top 5 offense. I genuinely do. They were like 7th last year, put up 116 and some change. Number 1 offense was the Sacramento Kings, who averaged 120 little and some change. I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers are to 120 points, right? I mean, again, that's only a 4-point difference. And look at the roster that this Lakers team has, right? Like, it's ridiculous. And Darvin Ham is going to have his work cut out for him. I mean, this guy has got to figure out how to, 1, manage egos, 2, figure out who plays, who starts. You got like 5 guys that are probably expecting to play 30 minutes a game, and then another 5 to 6 guys that are probably expecting to play 20 plus minutes a game. How do you make that work? How do you figure that out? Right? And Darvin Ham is going to have to figure out different lineups, different shit. Like, I don't envy the guy, right? I mean, it's a great problem to have. Don't get me wrong, right? Like, out of any problem you could have, it's having too much depth. Where, like, last year, Darvin Ham had the problem of, like, who do I play and how many minutes do I play guys? But it was because, like, we were very limited. Where it's like, now it's like, wow, like, man, you can make an argument for basically like 12, 13 guys to be in the starting unit. And I'm pumped for that. I'm pumped for training camp because I think there's going to be some good, healthy competition, right? Like, we've already heard the reports and talks about, like, D'Lo versus Gabe Vincent, right? Is Christian Wood going to start because Anthony Davis wants to play the 4 now, right? So does Christian Wood start? Do they go with Jackson Hayes? Like, how does this work? How does this look? Right? And there's so many possible combinations. But here's the thing. There's not enough minutes to go around for everybody. So that means there's going to be at least 2 to 3 guys that are the odd men out. Right? Now, obviously, you have 14 guys on the roster. Shafino and Lewis, the 2 rookies that we drafted this year, they're probably not seeing the floor at all. And if they do, it's probably in small doses or garbage time. And they're probably primarily playing in the G League, right? Which is fine. They're rookies. Let them get developed. Let them get some experience down there. Get some playing time, some burn, some run, all of that. Totally okay with that, right? But that leaves another 12 players that you got to figure out how to give minutes to. And LeBron James and Anthony Davis are probably playing at least 30 minutes. I hope they don't play more than that. If they do, I hope it's not more than like 32 minutes. So you got those 2 guys playing 30 minutes a game. And then Austin Reeves probably plays somewhere around 30 minutes. So you got 3 guys that are all going to play around 30 minutes. And that means that's 3 positions that are only going to have another 18 minutes that they're not on the court. Now, I don't think that they'll all sit at the same time, although I do think this roster is deep enough and talented enough to where you could sit all 3 at the same time, and we could still be very good, right? But I digress. Who's going to be the odd man out on this roster? Now, the most likely, in my opinion, is Cam Reddish, which it sucks because I really like Cam Reddish. I am super high on Cam Reddish. I think the biggest problem with Cam Reddish is he hasn't had a real opportunity. He was on Atlanta. He was looking all of the number 10 pick that he was. He was looking like he had the potential to be the next big 2-way 6'8" wing, right? Play the 2, play the 3, play the 4. Got good size, 6'8". He's got like a 7'2" wingspan, something like that. Athletic, quick, like just as everything you could want. Little questions about his work ethic. I mean, even dating back to Duke. So, that like he's not without his faults, but he was on Atlanta. They make the conference finals, and then they kind of like revamp that roster, go a little older, push the chips to the table, and he kind of becomes the odd man out. They end up working a deal to go trade him to New York. Tibbs wants nothing to do with Cam Reddish. They trade for him anyway, and he's kind of in the doghouse to begin with. Nobody wants him in New York, or well, Tibbs doesn't want him in New York, but he's got to work with them. He kind of gives them spots. Some injuries happen, right? He just had a bad luck of the dice. Lakers tried to trade for him like 2-3 separate times. One time they actually had a deal done. It was over. And then the Knicks got greedy. It just was rough. He goes to Portland. He gets a little more time, a little more opportunity. And he was actually really good. He was really good for Portland. And he's a guy that I've wanted on the Lakers since Atlanta drafted him. And now he's on the Lakers. And it's like, yes, right? He's young enough to have been drafted in this year's draft. He's got all this upside, all this potential, all this talent. And then you look at this roster and the Lakers get all the pieces that they get. And it's like, where does Cam Reddish play? Right? Like, where does he play? Now, obviously, the center position was a big hole. They got Christian Wood. Still wouldn't mind if they got like a bigger, bulkier center. But neither here nor there. It doesn't matter, even if they don't. I don't think it's that big of an issue. But outside of the center position, the other like hole, I guess you could say, is the 2 guard. Now, it's not so desperate that like the Lakers need to run out and sign a 2 guard. Because, look, Austin Reeves, again, probably playing 30 minutes at the 2 guard. Even if he does play some point, he's probably playing, say, 20 minutes at the 2 guard. Right? And then D'Lo is more than capable of playing the 2 guard. Gabe Vincent, if you needed to, could play the 2 guard. Taurean Prince could play the 2 guard. But so could Cam Reddish. And another guy that is very likely potentially the odd man out is Max Christy. Now, the Lakers are super high on him. There were reports. Granted, this was before some of the guys that we've gotten since. But there were reports that the Lakers planned on him kind of taking those strides, taking those leaps, and being the backup 2 guard and playing a big role, right? And the thought process was, it was basically between him and Cam Reddish that one of them would be the odd man out. So I imagine that that's going to be another good, healthy, like camp battle to look out for, like who looks better. Obviously, Cam Reddish has the better size, right? And maybe a little more athletic, better wingspan and stuff. Christy is looks at least a little more refined, and also he's the better 3-point shooter and just shooter, period, right? But Reddish is more explosive, so again, they have their tools, and Max Christy looks like he's already NBA level defensively, so I don't hate it either way. And there is an argument of like Max Christie's 20 years old. Let him get some run in spots. Let him play in the G League a little bit, right? Like that kind of thing, which I don't mind. I don't hate. Where Cam Reddish, he's older now, like not older, but again, he's still young enough to have been drafted in this year's draft. But he's a little older. Give him an opportunity. See what he can have. Ideally, you're hoping he's a piece for the future. Right? So, Christy, his time will come when it comes. I do understand that. It's also very possible that both of those guys are the odd men out. Because especially if Anthony Davis wants to play primarily at the 4, you still have Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, and you still have LeBron James probably playing the 3 and the 4 at times, right? So if AD is going to play 30 minutes at the 4 and LeBron ends up playing 30 minutes at the 3, that leaves you 18 minutes at each position, right? That you have to basically fill with Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, and Taurean Prince. Because Taurean Prince, the dude is everything the Lakers have been looking for the last handful of years, right? If not longer. A legit, sizable 3-and-D knockdown shooter, veteran, that's not afraid of the moment, that's hit big shots, that's played big roles, right? Like, he's he's a guy that, you could see being a big part of this Lakers team. So you got 5 minutes for him, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, right? So, again, now, could you make an argument that maybe Jared Vanderbilt ends up being the odd man out because he can't play the 2? He's more of a 3? Possibly, but he's so good defensively, you have to give him time. Here's the thing, though, about Jared Vanderbilt. Unless he just, because he has been working on his three-point shot the entire offseason. So, unless he just, is really improved that much from 3, my guess is the Lakers use him in spots. I could see Jared Vanderbilt only getting 10 minutes a game, and it's solely in spots, maybe to even close the game, right? To just, we need to, this guy's getting hot, we need to slow him down type thing, and you just kind of use Jared Vanderbilt and pick and choose spots and him in that specialty role. I could see that. But even then, even if you limit him to 10 minutes, you still have to find minutes for Rui Hachimura, which he's probably playing around 20 minutes a game. Taurean Prince, let's say Taurean Prince plays around 15 minutes a game, right? Christian Wood, you got to imagine, is going to play the 4 at times. LeBron's going to play the 4 at times, right? I mean, you might have your 4 spot locked up between Anthony Davis and LeBron James, right? Again, if Anthony, let's say Anthony Davis plays 30 minutes at the 4, or let's say 25 minutes at the 4, and he closes the last 5 minutes at the 5. So you have him 25 minutes at the 4, right? And then let's say you have LeBron 10 minutes or so at the 4, right? 10 of his 30 minutes at the 4, right? Still, that, again, now you're talking 35 minutes. You got 13 minutes of 4 spot. Christian Wood probably plays 5 to 8 minutes at the 4 game, right? Alongside Anthony Davis and alongside Jackson Hayes. I'd imagine they'd want to get some of those looks, right? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be tough. So my guess is Cam Reddish and Max Christy are probably going to be the odd men out. The other one, outside of Jared Vanderbilt, would be Taurean Prince, right? There's an argument Taurean Prince, he's one of the older guys, I guess, but he's still not old, right? He's still 30. But he's still he's such a constant, right? And that's huge, especially on a team like this. He's the guy you don't have to worry about. You can put in the game, even in a tough situation, into games, right? I could see Taurean Prince closing games, right? Genuinely. I could see something of a Reeves, Prince, Bando, LeBron, and AD, right? Where, Prince, his ability to be a 3-and-D guy, you got, he's 38, 39% from 3. You got Austin Reeves, who, 40+% from 3. You have Jared Vanderbilt. Hopefully he can knock down the 3 ball. Hopefully LeBron isn't as atrocious from 3 as he was last year. Hopefully Anthony Davis can kind of find his stroke, right? But just defensively. And Taurean Prince, he's a guy, he's not going to mess up, not going to take a bad shot. He's not going to do anything silly. He's going to do the job, and he's going to do the task that's asked of him. He's going to play it to the best of his ability. He's going to lock in. He's going to focus. He's not afraid of the moment. He can hit big shots. How do you not play that guy? Again, this is the prototypical guy. And again, we're contending for an NBA champ. If we were a fringe playoff team, or a team that was maybe middle of the pack, it's okay, get the young guy Cam Reddish, get him some minutes, get Max Christy some minutes, right? See what they could do. But no, we're a contender. We're arguably the best team in the entire league. Top 5 at least, right? You got Milwaukee, Boston, Denver, maybe the Suns. We'll see how they work out. And the Lakers. No particular order, but those are probably the 5 best teams in the entire league. And so Taurean Prince at this stage is the more consistent, better contender level player. Cam Reddish, the upside is better, obviously. You can make the same argument with Max Christy, but Taurean Prince is a guy that's been there, done that, is not afraid of the moment, can hit the shots, is going to do the right thing, is going to play well. He's got, that veteran leadership, good IQ. Like, he has everything you need to where, who would you trust more? Game 7, 2 minutes left, and you had to put in Taurean Prince, Cam Reddish, or Max Christy. Who are you putting in to close that game? The correct answer is Taurean Prince. Because he is a legit 6'6", 6'7", long, lengthy defensive guy that can guard basically 1 through 4. Shoots 38% from 3, so he's a better three-point shooter than Cam Reddish. He's not going to mess up. He's not going to freeze up. He's not going to be afraid of the moment. He can hit big shots. He can hit clutch shots, hit game-winning shots. I mean, he was hitting big shots against the Lakers in the play-in. I mean, and in the playoffs, he was hitting absolute huge shots against that Denver series, stuff like that. He's the guy you're going to trust. So you got to find minutes for him. You do. So it's just who are the odd men out? It's probably Cam Reddish and Max Christy. Because if you remove those, so again, you have 14 guys. Chafino, Lewis, they're probably never going to see the court outside of garbage time. And then are you really going to run 12 guys? Maybe. But I don't think you're going to run 12 guys every single night. So more times than not, you're running 10 guys. So it's got to be Cam Reddish and Max Christy. Especially if you can play Prince at the 2. Right? Because then that solves your backup 2 position. And again, you have D'Lo, Reeves, Gabe Vincent. You could go go positionless, right? And have Reeves, LeBron, Vando, AD, and Hayes. Right? And, there's ways there. But again, I've said this repeatedly and I'm sticking by it. The only way I really see you being able to play everybody, including Christy and Cam Reddish, is you're basically just almost every unit that's out there is positionless, right? Like I mentioned, you're running a LeBron, Prince, Reeves, AD, and Hayes or Wood, right? And it's just LeBron's the 2 for the sake of being the 2, or Prince is the 2 for the sake of being the 2, or whatever, right? Maybe you run Rui, Wood, and AD, right? Or you run, Hayes, Wood, and AD. And, you put Wood at the 3, right? I don't know. That's the only way I really see it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Who do you think is the odd man out now that we got Christian Wood? Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comments.